Habari maafrika, mimi ni King, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Asante kwa kutazama KingSetso. Ladies and gentlemen, let's today talk about the march from the economic freedom fighters to KLEINFONTEIN. The march happened just a few days ago, and we were so busy here at Basetta that I did not get time to cover this. I also want to talk about that march that the EFF in the Northern Cape had against the existence of Orania here in the Northern Cape. I also want to talk about the meeting that the leadership of the MK political party had at KLEINFONTEIN. Everybody is giving KLEINFONTEIN some attention right now. Even the Democratic Alliance are giving KLEINFONTEIN, and all of these informal but private settlements, illegal settlements of white Afrikaners who feel like they want to lock everyone out. And some people are arguing, but King, some of these informal settlements of black people are the same. We have to get into that debate. Let's talk about that, Basetta, and much more.
Welcome to KingSetso, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on KingSetso. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to KingSetso. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Zinjiva Sono, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we're talking about the marches to this white-only settlements, illegal settlements that are happening here in South Africa. Before I do that, let me start by thanking everyone. I think this is my first video ever since the gala dinner. I'd like to thank everybody that has showed up to the gala dinner. The gala dinner exceeded our expectations with my team. I mean, I want to give a full report to you guys. I'm still gathering all the information that are necessary. Some departments of Basetta have to give me reports on how well they did and what they could have improved. I myself must give a report to all the team members of Basetta and talk about the things that we did great and the things that we should fall on, because it's a learning curve. The Basetta team as a whole were meeting for the first time. This was the first time we came in face-to-face contact. Everything about Basetta was done online, so that's also another win in that regard. So I want to give you guys a full report. If you can just give me 4 to 5 days to gather that information and give it to you guys, I'll be so very grateful. If you didn't come to the Northern Cape, you really missed out a lot. In the gala dinner, the music online, the music on stage, the performances on stage, the host of our beautiful sister Usisintsiki Mazayo was fantastic on stage, and the speakers on stage also did very well. So I want to take you into a journey. For those who are not here, just drive you through what we did, everything, especially for day 2, because day 2 was so very important in for Basetta, because we went to the school grounds. The people saw where Basetta is going to be built. People saw the little progress that we did there. Excuse me, guys. Hey, cartel. The people saw everything that has to do with Basetta, and everyone that came to Kimberley cannot tell you that they don't know anything about Basetta. All the information was given out. They saw that this thing is not a scam. They saw that this thing is real, that we are actually doing this thing for the next coming generation. We also took some people to the Robert Sobukwe uprising and Robert Sobukwe office, and took them to the Maibuya uprising. It's not a shop like they say, it's like this. The Maibuya uprising, the first uprising actually in South Africa, where there was some killings by the police who unalived our brothers who are marching then. The same issue of Sharpeville massacre is the same thing that happened it started here in the Northern Cape. So all of that information I'll be giving to you guys. I'm very excited about it. Some people went to the big hole. Some people stayed here for 3 days in Kimberley. People came here for 4 days. Some people were here from Thursday up until Sunday. So that's the fantastic thing about the journey that we had here in Basetta. So if you give me, like I said, some few days, I have to compile that report and give it to you guys. I have not even seen the cameraman. He's working on the work that he has been doing, the pictures. I just gave you guys some cell phone footage so that you don't stay in the dark thinking that the gala dinner never happened. So what I will do, I will upload the professional footages later on this week, so bear with us in that. But I want to thank each and everyone that made it to Basetta. It was really heartwarming to see the people come here. So without talking too much about that, you guys just wait for those uploads. There's so much that I need to cover on when it comes to politics that happened over the past 4 days since Basetta, since the gala dinner started, because the gala dinner started from Thursday for me. People started arriving. Our team, our entire team arrived on Thursday for me. So I'm going to have to go back to the political scene and see what happened. Everything, the MK political party winning some wars, Fikile Mbalula talking his nonsense, Julius Malema, the speeches that were made in Workers' Day. I see Malema went to go see the Joy's family, the parents. There's so much that happened this past weekend that I need to address, because we need to give our insight on that. But this past week we saw that the EFF marched at KLEINFONTEIN. It's very important also to point that out. We salute the EFF for doing that. We salute the MK political party for doing that. Let's start with the EFF, or let's start with KLEINFONTEIN. I was watching something at Politically Incorrect Mashiane, my brother, who was also here at King Said So, at King Said So's place here in Kimberley, attending the gala dinner. Really helped us a lot, my brother Mashiane. I really appreciate you. You helped us with transport. You even took people back at home. If it wasn't for your vehicle, we would have struggled so much. So thank you so much for the footages that you have chosen. Please go to Politically Incorrect with Mashiane and just watch some of the work that he has uploaded there when it comes to the Basetta gala dinner, fundraising gala dinner, and also subscribe to his channel. Please make sure that you support him. He's a true brother. He's a true brother. I've told you guys a long time ago that we meet true people online. We meet true people online. Mashiane is one of those people I would vouch for to say, Injayami, because he has shown me beyond words, beyond money, that he really is a man that supports the vision of Basetta. Anyway, as I was watching that, it came to my attention that South Africans just know about the few white settlements that we know, specifically KLEINFONTEIN and Orania. Those are the ones that we keep on talking about, including myself. But there are about 19 of these white Afrikaner land grabs. I call it land grabs because illegally obtained and illegally occupied by people who don't pay rates and taxes. So now, when we explain this so that you people can understand what is happening in Orania and especially in KLEINFONTEIN, is that there are no municipal rates being paid there, because the square meter of the houses and the residential area there is not calculated according to the rates of the local municipality of which that place fall under. You understand? Because remember, you are going to pay rates whether you like it or not. You're going to use the roads, you're going to use the lights, you're going to use the police system, you're going to use whatever that you're going to use. You're going to use it because the police are the public are paying for those things, and you need to be charged also with rates and taxes like any other South African is paying. You understand? So there are about 19 of these places in South Africa. And when I get time, I'll get the list of those places where white people have grouped themselves. And if we are not careful, in the name of saying it is private land, people will practice lawlessness in their private land. I cannot say this is my house, so I can beat my children and my wife. I can do as I please here in my house. Nobody must get in the gate because this is my house. I will do as I please. It does not work like that, ladies and gentlemen. It does not work like that. Everybody must abide to the laws of this country. Everybody must respect the next person, and everybody must want integration in South Africa because of the history that we have. So so KLEINFONTEIN does not pay rate and taxes. The people of KLEINFONTEIN themselves have taken KLEINFONTEIN to court. There's been some fighting that has been happening in the residents and the owners of KLEINFONTEIN because people are saying, but why is it that we are not paying rates? Understand, people are being charged for other things and all of that drama that happened. So it is important for political parties like the economic freedom fighters to march to KLEINFONTEIN. Very important to do that. So I saw that I actually did not know that the march was being organized. I was so busy with this issue of Basetta, but I saw now that they had a successful march, if we can call it that, going to KLEINFONTEIN. There a lot of buses bust up, went there, filled the street and did that. Afrikaner people don't understand. Afrikaner people think that we hate that they want themselves up to want to preserve their culture. That could not be further from the truth. We are all for that. Let the Afrikaner people preserve their culture. Good. Let the Zulu people preserve their culture. The Tsonga and everybody needs to have their right to protect their culture and whatever. But it must not be in a spirit of discrimination and segregation to the rest of South Africa. That cannot happen. And looking at the history of Afrikaners, we know that they are doing it in the spirit of bad faith. They don't want to abide. They don't see black people as people that they can submit under in a government and everything. They don't want to live like the rest of us in South Africa. You understand? So we've been controlled by this small population that keep on proving to us that they are not going to integrate with us forever. And I think the government needs to take this issue very seriously, that in our country we've got people that don't want to integrate. Listen, for that USA refugee pass, they only 70,000 of them applied to go to America, and only 35 applications were successful. Only 35 applications were successful. That is very sad, ladies and gentlemen. A person would think that more of these people will leave our country. So I wonder if that 35 are actually going to leave. You understand? It's that question also. If you're only 35, are you going to go? Are you going to preserve your culture there? What are you going to do there? Are you going to go to America and start your own Afrikaans land there? And all of those things that are in question. So for me, really, we need true leaderships, advocates, Kakane, who are going to deal with these issues legally, so that we don't get an issue where our country remains divided forever. Our parents were divided. We are divided. Should our children also suffer the same thing, where there is a vast difference between black and white? This is really crazy. So, as I'm talking, some messages are coming in. So the EFF march there, big numbers showed up and marched and went crazy there. And I saw some footages or some videos of vandalism that happened at the gate of KLEINFONTEIN. Now it is up to us as African people to decide to which lengths our marches are going to take place. That's what happened when you come to, you can't say we had a legal march, registered march, and then you go and vandalize people's properties. Tolerate or later. That is not something that we are going to condone. And I'm saying that with a very sore heart, because when they came, they did not vandalize. They demolished our people. They demolished our people. They killed in scores. You understand? But that of which is in the history and that which is in the current is different. So you can't go to KLEINFONTEIN litter like nobody's business there, that does not show a good showing to us as African people. I can make an example with that. According to the EFF, I was covering the march of the EFF here in the Northern Cape. I covered it extensively. There wasn't a corner of that march I did not cover. The leadership of the EFF in the Northern Cape spoke during their meetings building up to the march against Orania that you are not going to litter, you are not going to disturb other shops, you are not going to steal, you are not going to fight, you are not going to drink, you are not even going to smoke in the march. That's what the leadership of Northern Cape said. I was there in those meetings. I covered it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not speaking nicely about them because I was here. What the leadership says and what the ground force does is something different. So when they say that, I was like, of course they need to say that. Maybe they are saying that because we have recording the meeting and everything. Nobody knows. But after that, the following day, it was the march. The march was from where Khalishiwe starts and goes to the Premier's office to go and hand over the memorandum. The EFF in the Northern Cape marched to the Premier's office, Zamane Soul, who was busy being re-elected for the third term there at Mitas Perepere, just a few kilometers away from his office. And there was no littering. I'm talking about littering. I saw fighters walking around picking up papers. I saw fighters talking to each other, disciplining other fighters who were seen leaving the road, walking in the wrong side of the road and everything. I saw all of that. I recorded that and I played it here for you guys. So when the EFF in Gauteng goes and marches in KLEINFONTEIN and does what they did, it's quite wrong. Because remember, the EFF in Northern Cape want to exacerbate or take their march, for a lack of English, a better English word, take their march to Orania. Now the Oranian people are going to see what happened in KLEINFONTEIN. They're going to say, okay, these people are coming here to vandalize. These people are not coming here to picket and voice out whatever concern that they have. They are coming here to vandalize. It is wrong what the EFF in Gauteng did. It is wrong. And anyone who's a fighter who's going to say, no, king, whatever, I feel sorry for you. We need to behave as African people. And by behave, I'm not saying we need to submit to African people, but I would say we need to submit to the laws of this country. You cannot do what you did there. You cannot go there and vandalize people's property. Picketing and marching is a legal right in South Africa. You go do that legally, so without putting other people's lives at dis-ease. I'm saying that because the Oranian people are more than the ones of KLEINFONTEIN, and for me, I view them more dangerous than the KLEINFONTEIN people. Yeah, let me put it that way. I hope you can read between the lines. So I don't trust the people of Orania. Those are the most hateful, racist Afrikaners that we have there. I know in KLEINFONTEIN is called the AfriForum World. There's a board that says welcome to AfriForum World as you come in, AfriForum World as you come in there and all of that. But I'm saying, I'm not sure about the geographic placement of KLEINFONTEIN. I know it's in the north of Gauteng, but the geographic placement of Orania is so different from all of those other institutions that if a fight breaks out, if someone gets hurt, if someone needs to go to hospital, the closest hospital from there is about 180 kilometers. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So I think the EFF must be called to order. The NK political party also went to Orania, to KLEINFONTEIN, excuse me. They went to KLEINFONTEIN, had a meeting there, spoke to the people of KLEINFONTEIN, telling them what you are doing here is illegal, you need to come to Ntenyo. The NK political party's approach was a little bit modest. I'm not sure if they will get anything out of that, and or anything. Like for me, I always ask, what is the follow-up after the march? I'm all for the marching. I'm all for the marching because we need to show these African people that we don't appreciate what they are doing in our land. But the follow-ups are very important to me. What then do we do after that? What is the follow-up action? In the Northern Cape for Orania, they gave the Premier 30 days to say, Premier, respond to this issue of Orania, address this issue of Orania in 30 days, or else we are going to march to Orania. The march to Orania is going to be a historical one in South Africa. It's going to be a historical one. I see people are misinforming people, saying the EFF in Northern Cape marched to Orania. It is not true. The EFF in Northern Cape marched to the Premier's office, which is in Kimberley, which is about 860 kilometers away from Orania. That is how far it is, hundred of kilometers away from Orania. They marched to the Premier's office. They handed out a memorandum to say to the Premier, because you are the head of this province, address this issue, or otherwise we are going to now take it into our own hands and march to Orania and speak to the people of Orania, of which they already had meetings with them there in Orania. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I was disappointed by the EFF in Gauteng for the littering and everything there. Let's not do that. We are going to march a lot of times, we as African people, because it has become our culture to picket, because our government does not listen to us, our enemies does not listen to us, white monopoly capitalists does not listen to us, sometimes our traditional leaders does not listen to us, and all of those things. People are not listening to the masses. The masses will take to the streets now and then. Let's not vandalize. Let's not hurt each other. Let's not be violent and all of those things. Because if we start the violence, zizokhala. But with that being said, if someone starts the violence with us when we are having a peaceful march, let's not stand there and die like our forefathers did, or run away with catching bullets on our backs like our forefathers did. We are not our forefathers. We are a generation of yes. I see you again, Lap. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in on King Said So. Let's talk about other videos. You guys are gonna get more videos today. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. But after you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan Africanism. I salute you.